Okay, Sawadee Krap. It's an honor to be here today, and it's very exciting. It's our first Cracking Thai Fundamentals Thai Bites live webinar. Now, the intention is to create something that we can do regularly. I would love to do it weekly. We'll see how that goes. And I want this to be a regular place, not just for me, but for everybody in the language learning community, for both learners. I know there are a lot of teachers out there. For those people that have come in and given your support from the Falang Can Learn Thai group on Facebook, welcome. And again, many of the contributors there, we have some of the most amazing minds on the Thai language and linguists from all over the place that are specialists in Thai and other languages in this region. And my intention through these live webinars is to offer them for free, get these people in and make it a really rich learning resource for everybody. Now, today's topic, and I asked around, and many of you might know Catherine from Women Learning Thai, Catherine Wentworth, and some other people. And one of the things that both Catherine gets in, I get these questions, and I think that other Thai teachers would get is, how do you get over this fear of learning Thai? And and I found that fear is something that is this obstacle, or in Thai we'd call it upasak. So it forms an upasak that would either stop people from learning, or people might start learning, and then through fear, it might be fear of not completing, fear of boredom, fear of something that is so foreign, so different, fear of not being able to actually complete something, that people stop learning. And I was actually speaking to somebody who's learning at a school here in Bangkok, and they're ready to quit. And the only thing that's keeping them there is that they need to get their visa learning Thai. So many people who know me, anybody who's been through any of my workshops, you know that I get pretty passionate about languages and especially Thai. And so hopefully through today's webinar and webinars in the future, we'll be able to spark some fire back into your learning and show you some things that perhaps you never even thought of and never realized with Thai. So speaking about the fear of Thai, I was looking at a post thread the other day, and on the Falang Can Learn Thai, and comparing learning Thai with Chinese. And then we had people that spoke Chinese and different languages say, oh, Thai is a tonal language and Thai has 5 tones, but Chinese 4 tones, maybe 5, but Cantonese has 9 tones. And the whole thing of, oh, can Chinese tones, are they the same as Thai tones, and can they be compared, or you should learn what tones? And the whole comparison of how many tones, or Thai has so many letters, and all of these things, it's almost like a contest of my language is harder than yours. And people, I don't know, they kind of want to throw it down there and make people afraid by putting all of these numbers and statistics there about the language, and then they use these as a measuring stick of the languages. I'll give you an example. This is an extract from a very old Thai learning textbook, The Fundamentals of the Thai Language. Now, this is taken from the 6th edition for you, but this for many years. This is a version of what was the introduction to the Thai language. So just imagine reading this as your first to the Thai language. The Thai letter consists of 44 consonants and 22 vowels, which are not the Roman alphabet, the A, B, C. Then it's quite difficult to newcomer to remember them. That means it takes you so long time. Now that's actually how it was written, so long time, that you will get bored and you'll make your learning unnatural, much different from a child acquires, and that's actually was spelled ACQUISE, her mother tongue. I'll read it out of the Thai. It's English now. The Thai letters consist of 44 consonants and 22 vowels, which are not the Roman alphabet, the ABC. Then it's quite difficult for newcomers to remember them. So that's put this subconscious block already, saying it's going to be difficult for you. It's almost as though the writer wants it to be difficult. That means that it will take you so long time that you will get bored and you'll make your learning unnatural. So from now, the first encounter with the Thai language is saying it's difficult, it's nothing like anything that you know, and it's going to take so long, and it's going to be an unnatural learning process for you. Much different from the way a child acquires his or her mother's language. And so basically, when you've read that, you think, screw it. There's no way in hell that I'm going to learn this. And if you fail, well, that's okay, because they said I was going to fail anyway, so that's not a big deal. Now, that's really sad. The reality is that Thai is the most beautiful structure. The writing system fits like a glove with the tone system, with the spoken language, and it's all built on a beautiful, the beautiful Indic or Brahmic alphabet. So the Thai script, which is a map of the human mouth. Now, people who've come through Cracking Thai Fundamentals, or people who have been to seminars before, will hear me speak about this before. But this map of the human mouth is absolutely amazing. So when Thais learn a language, let me just share my screen with you. Now, hopefully technology here is going to be very kind to us. Share. And I'm going to jump across here and jump. Many of you, I better cut this thing off the bottom here. Whoop, let me just pull in here, and I'll just resize my browser a little bit. Oh, it won't. Okay, so many of you, if you've ever learned Thai, perhaps you've been given an alphabet chart like this and just sat and had to recite them. Ko, kai, ho, kai, ho, kwai, ko, rakang, ngo, ngu, jo, jan, to, ting, to, tang, so. I'm sure just going through there now has probably brought back some memories for some people. And then the next thing that the learner of Thai is going to say to the teacher, why do we have ko, ko, ko? And then you get down here. Let's have a look. We have ta, ta, sorry, ta, 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 ta. That's 6 taws. And you ask the teacher, why are there so many taws? Because it's like that. You just learn it. And then they say to you, well, actually, Thai letters, consonants, have 3 different classes. We have middle class, we have high class, and we have low class. So all you have to remember is you come across, oh, that first one there, that's a middle class. That second one, yeah, that's a high class. 1, 2, 3, these guys are low class. Oh, but we've got a middle class again here. Charting, that's a high class too. So you got it, it's middle class, high class, low class, low class, low class, middle class, high class, cha. These are both low class, and it just goes on. It seems like insanity what made this system. And so that, again, is enough to turn people off and think, well, screw this, I'm not going to learn it. Now, the reality is, compare that now to this. I'm going to pull up, this is my Indic consonant compass, and I've put this together. This is actually a 12 language compass, and you can actually see here every one of the languages I have here, which are only a handful of the languages that use this system, which is a beautiful map of the human mouth system. They use exactly the same system. Here I've got Balinese, so I'll just go through them quickly here. Balinese, Javanese, Khmer, Lao, Burmese, Thai, Now, Brahmi, this was the original script that used this 5x5 system, semi-vowels, sibilants, the SE sounds, the H breath, and the voice base. We have the Devanagari, which is the standard one to write Hindi, Sanskrit, Nepali, Marathi. Then I've even got here for those Punjabi speakers, this is the Gurmukhi script, Tamil, and this is the ancient Tamil script, which actually you'll see some are very similar to the Thai letters, and even Tibetan. Have a look at that. That looks like your Moma in Thai. But all of these languages here use exactly the same system. So when Thais are telling you, Thai has 44 consonant and 22 vowel, so what? No, it doesn't. Well, it might. It used to have more. Some are redundant, but all it is Thai is built, the Thai letters are based on the map of a human mouth. You have stopped throat, so this is with your throat closed. As I go through these, have a look here. You've got throat closed, throat open from the back of the throat. So
กอไก่ขอไข่คอควายคอระฆังงองู
So you see those are all from the back of the throat. Then we move one notch forward to the next to the palate.
จอจานชอชิงชอช้าง
Now what happened in Thai, there was actually this s sound as well that had the throat open. So they just said, well, you know what we're going to do? From Sanskrit, let me just show you. So Sanskrit had one letter here. I'll get the actual consonant up for you. So Sanskrit, and actually let me just pull the IPA. Sanskrit had this j sound. So what happened in Thai? Well, that j turned to a ch, it lost its voice, but we also had a s. So they just made two letters that look very similar. So if I pull the letter up, you can see now that this
ชอช้าง
and then so is exactly the same letter to show that it came from the same one.
ซอโซ่
Just put a little split, but just think of this as the same position.
ชอเชอเนียวเนียว
So originally this was a nyo from Sanskrit. I'll show you the letter nya. But in Thai, it turned into a nya and a
ยอหญิง
And again, in Devanagari, when we had these, you hear the Indians talking with their tongue rolled back. Da, 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 da. The Thai said, don't be crazy. I'm not going to make those sounds. I can't make those sounds. Let's just turn all of this row here into dentals. And so these rows became the same. That's why in this, all of these t sounds, and if I come back here, and I show you the IPA, well, you can see the t, 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 they originally came from different letters. That's the only reason, but Thais will keep the original spelling from Sanskrit. And so then you go down
บอใบไม้
to your lip. So these are the,
ดอ
sorry,
เด็ก
these are the dentals.
ตอเต่าถอถุงทอทหารทอธงนอหนู
And then you come to the letters that are based on where they come from your lips.
บอใบไม้ปอปลาผอพึ่งฝอฝาพอพานฟอฟันพอสำเภามอม้า
And then we have what's called semivowels down in this row here.
ยอยักษ์
So they don't know, is Y in English a vowel or a consonant? Yeah, I'm not sure. So we got y.
รอเรือลอลิงวอแหวน
Easy. So these semivowels, I'll just so that's the IPA there. And then we have these, now originally in Sanskrit, we had these SE sounds, sh, sh, sa. They all just turned into s in Thai.
สอสลาสอฤาษีสอเสือ
And we have a h, throat sound.
หอหีบออ่าง
And a bass voice sound, which is this circle, which matches my glyph here. So if you're having a look at the original Sanskrit, you just go map of the mouth, back of the throat, from the palate, tongue roll back, dental, labial. In Thai, those tongue rolled back just turn into dentals, and that's the alphabet. Learning, I would love it if from these from these webinars and from all the community getting together, no one in the future ever learned the Thai alphabet like this anymore. Once we see in this beautiful format that is the original format, and then what are the low class consonants? Well, the low class are all the previously voiced consonants. What are the middle class? The middle class is this first column. They're the ones with your throat closed and the throat or ang, and the high class are all the ones that used to be aspirated. So that second column and all the SE sounds. And of course the h. They're your classes. So from all of this mystery, let me turn my camera back now. Stop screen sharing. Okay, so I'm back now. So from all of this mystery and that's enshrouded around the Thai language and writing, it's almost like there's an intended fear that people almost want you to have, to think that Thai is this mysterious language. It's a difficult system. It's got foreign sounds, and it's got all these letters that are just inexplicably there. And the reality is it's a beautiful, logical system to represent the sounds of the Thai language. The reason the Sanskrit is based system is used is because of Buddhism and culture to pay respect to the original spelling of the Buddhist texts, and that's about it. So this is what we're trying to do through these, making it easy, take this fear away. I understand that we're up to around 15 minutes, 17 minutes now. I said that we'd do about 15 to 20 minutes, but my take home is to you, don't be afraid. Understand this system. It's all about the throat. You saw it's based in throat. Tones are about throat positions, what the throat's doing in the beginning versus the end of a syllable. And everything that you thought might have been mysterious about Thai, hopefully even in this webinar, we'll be able to explain that away, take the shroud off it, and make it a very achievable goal for you. So right now, I would like to hand it over to the all of you watching now. Who has the first question? You can, I think you can put your hand up, or you could send a question through here in the questions section. Let me go through the comments here too. Okay. Coming in for questions. While the questions are coming in, I'll also mention that you saw this, you saw the Thai compass and the Indic compass there. You can actually go and access that through jcademy.com, going to the Cracking Indic based scripts module. Okay, so we have a question here from Stefan. I don't know where to start learning Thai. Okay, so how do you start? And for many expats here in Thailand, it can get like that. You get caught up with work and you start to build circles around you that are expats. The only people that you might see that speak Thai are the ones in your building, maybe your maid. And so where do you start learning? Where do you get the time? What I would say is, well, first of all, come into Cracking Thai Fundamentals and just take the first lesson for free, the Preparing to Crack the Thai Fundamentals. That will start to get your mind into the space. It'll prepare your mind, it'll prepare your body and your throat, and it'll prepare your environment. But more importantly, it will show you how to start creating or changing relationships if you have it already. If you have the relationships with Thais already, you start building new relationships with Thai and building an environment around you that will teach you Thai. If you are in an environment where you're with English-speaking Thais that want to use their English and want to speak English to you, well, it's going to be pretty tough to learn Thai and actually use it. Get as many resources as you can, not just mine. The Glossika series is fantastic for listening and getting real-life sentences, and then go out and use it. Go and buy your tea, your Thai yen in the morning. Go and buy your noodles. Go out and use the language. So that's what I would say. Start with Cracking Thai Fundamentals, preparing the Crack Fundamentals. Get a Glossika course. Build a network up of Thais around you that will teach you. Who has the next question? Will Jcademy have any face-to-face classes? We are building, and you might have noticed in Jcademy that we have an all new interface. And the reason for that was we had a interface first that was very feature rich, that was open until a couple of months ago, but it wasn't an optimal learning experience. And so what we've done, we've got a brand new, amazing chief technical officer in with us now. Some of you might have been in communication with him, and we've basically got back to basics, stripped it down, made it fast, made it nice, and we're building it up. And so these interactive blended learning lessons will be coming in within the next few weeks, if not month or so. So we'll be able to combine blended learning with the online learning modules, not just for my courses, but for anybody, any course author that is going to be hosting their courseware on Jcademy. Let me go through the questions. Okay. So we have here, this might be hard to overcome, but the general fear of day-to-day conversations that sort of go past your comfort level. I know I can do it, but sometimes it blocks me. I'm trying not to have fear, but it comes and goes. What's your take on it? I know what you're talking about, and I go through that as well with other languages. I actually felt it yesterday because my Burmese isn't fluent. I can get by, and it's getting more fluent. And I love to go to the Bamboo restaurant in Sukhumvit. It's this Middle Eastern restaurant. All the employees are Burmese, and it's a great opportunity to use Burmese. When the conversation starts to get deeper than what my knowledge is, I'll try and jump back then into Thai or into English. Now, yesterday I made a point of trying to stay in Burmese. So the first thing I say is, doesn't matter if you think you're going to make a fool of yourself, just try and say it in Thai. Try and stick with the language. The other thing that I would say is to build this motivation. This is a technique I've used for many years. Get a minimum of 2 people that will act kind of as your mentors, your gurus in Thais, okay? Don't let them know that the other one is your guru as well. And so what you'll do is learn something at quite a little bit of an advanced level than what this other person expects that your Thai is at. And once you learn it and you master what they've taught you, so for example, lao ngaiต่อ. So that sentence, lao yang ngaiต่อ, what's next? What happened next? You wouldn't really hear it a lot from a Falang that's just started to learn Thai. So you might learn lao ngaiต่อ. Okay, you've got it. And so the next time you're going to speak with your other guru Thai friend, they're telling you something and you say lao ngaiต่อ. They think, oh heck, that Thai must be better than what I thought. And so they'll start using Thai at a level with you and teaching you more to get you more advanced Thai. And then you practice that and you go back and you're using, and so you're faking it until it actually becomes to that level. So I guess, what is it? Fake it until you make it. But you don't have to fake it for too long, because your Thai will pull up to that level. And sometimes I have 3-4 people that I'm doing with, and each time this person is really surprised at the level that my Thai has risen to, even if it's only a few sentences they don't know, the encouragement that then they give me and the surprise reaction, which is a positive reaction in them, reinforces the good feeling about learning Thai, and I keep on wanting to use the language. Now, compare that to when someone laughs and they say, oh, you're saying it wrong. Yeah, that's enough to burst the bubble. So I would say, get these mentors around you, raise the bar to your Thai, and then push yourself to use the Thai at that level and try and get Thais to be speaking to you at that higher level, because that's when you grow. Let me get another question. Wow, this is great. There are so many questions here. Okay, we've established that Thai is not this super mysterious language that Thai people claim that it is. But why do they actually claim it is? Thai teachers probably study the art of teaching Thai for years. Why can't they make it easier for foreigners? Is it a cultural misunderstanding, or do they want the language to be hard for other people? I can tell you that for many Thais, the Thai language now they would of course speak it as a native speaker, but when you go to school and you learn these all the rules and the consonant classes, and you see the alphabet just in this and learning, oh, we have high, middle, and low class, because that's not something you learn as a kid before you go to preschool. It's just crazy, and they think, well, why are these? I'm trying to pull up now an email that I received the other day, but a Thai with very good intentions sent me an email, and I can't find the email now, but basically they said, and they were saying, and all these rules, we have so many consonants in the middle class and the high class, and all these rules are there because our ancient fathers made the rules up for our language that we use to this day. And you just have to remember the rules, and they're there because they're like that, and there's something that we have to memorize by rote. And so this scares the crap out of many Thais when they're having to study for an exam. And I'll just show you exactly what it means. This book, now, kudos to Kru Lily. Kru Lily is a very famous Thai teacher for Thai kids, and she runs seminars for kids that are trying to cram for their entrance exams for Thai. But as you read through all of this book here, Kru Lily basically spends a whole book trying to explain the surface of what the rules are, rather than the Thai languages, or the script is based on Sanskrit and the sound system. And so Kru Lily is basically giving them hints on how to memorize by rote, which, you know, and she's made up mnemonics, and it's a fascinating book to go through. But even the most basic understanding of why it's like that coming from Sanskrit isn't taught to Thais. So it is a mystery to many Thais, and that mystery and fear, if you pass a bunch of Pali or Sanskrit words to a Thai, it will instill fear in this glazing of the eyes. And so when you're a Thai teacher teaching a non-Thai, and somebody asks a question, oh, but why are there so many Taw sounds? Because there are, and you don't need to know more than that. Just memorize them. And it's not explained. And I've seen that those kind of answers are the things that actually kill the motivation for learning Thai. So the short answer is that Thai is mysterious to many Thais themselves, and they can't explain it, so they'll pass that mystery on to the learners. How do we stay motivated when you think making progress only to see, when you think you're making progress only to see a TV program and you realize that you're way off fluency? Okay, I would say watch more TV. If you're not understanding the real spoken Thai, well, something's happening. You're either getting a filtered version of Thai that's a Falang-friendly version, maybe at a school, maybe your partner, if you've got a Thai partner and he or she might be using a version of Thai that they think will be easier for you to understand, but is actually doing you an injustice because it's not resembling the real Thai you're learning. Honestly speaking, one of the best ways is to get the Glossika Thai course, because what Mike Campbell has done over there in Taiwan, he's got native speaker of Thai. And for example, if I say in English, could you pass me that book? You wouldn't mind giving me the book, would you? Or could you just hand me the book over there? There are so many ways we can say the same sentence. Now, same in Thai, I can say, ช่วยเอาหนังสือมาให้หน่อย เอาหนังสือมาให้ดิ ช่วยหยิบหนังสือให้พี่หน่อย All these different ways of saying exactly the same semantic meaning. And so this is what Mike's done with his sentences in Glossika. There's all these different ways, and they're done through this really clever algorithm of repetition to get the native sounding sentences into your subconscious, so you don't have to consciously think about it, but they become muscle memory reactions. That's one way of doing it. Another way, you can just sit and watch a Thai TV show and start to shadow. What is shadowing? I will show you. Who wants? I actually have a few people in the background here. Elsie, do you want to be a volunteer? Please welcome Elsie onto the stage. Okay.
Hello.
Elsie. So this is one of the Jcademy shareholders and founders, Andrew Stotz's niece. And Elsie's here doing an internship for a bit in Thailand. And I'll show you what shadowing is for a TV show. So Elsie, could you not be, don't be influenced by what I'm saying. I'm going to be speaking over the top of you. Okay? So could you close your eyes, put your fingers in your ears, and tell me any story. You just went to the Philippines recently. Okay, so I want you to tell me a story of the Philippines, and I'll show you what shadowing is.
Okay.
Okay, put your fingers in your ears. Don't be put off. Just speak without stopping. Tell me a story.
Okay.
So
one of the cool things
that we did was that
Andrew had to go to an interview for On the Money, which was
it's a money show
for
the Philippines.
And the cool part for me was
obviously hearing him talk about his expertise and stuff, but it was really cool to go backstage because, okay, stop. Get the idea of what shadowing is. Now, think of that, but in Thai. Just even if you don't understand what's happening, mimic the sounds. And this is a technique that we use when training simultaneous interpreting. And in doing this shadowing, it actually is really helpful. Keep telling the story because we can use it then when we go into Thai.
Okay.
Speak.
So backstage there was a lot of
ถ้าอยู่เบื้องหลังเวทีก็มีพวกโคมไฟอะไรอยู่เพดานเราก็มีโทรทัศน์ที่ติดตั้งอยู่บนผนังก็จะเห็นสามารถเห็นแบบมองมุมกล้องแล้วก็มีหลายคนเข้ามาเราเห็นจากด้านหลังมันเท่มากเลยชอบมากเลย Okay, so you can see that I'm speaking real. I'm not even listening to what the words that Elsie's saying as she's speaking to me. The language is so much internalized then that it's just coming out. So this whole thing of shadowing is a very powerful skill to use either English to English, Thai to Thai, even if you don't understand, and then you can take it that next step when you start interpreting into the other language. So I would say shadowing. What's the best way to improve understanding through listening, i.e. films, adverts, news, subtitles, all of those things, and again using things like Mike's sentences, Glossika, even getting a YouTube. The good thing about YouTube clips is that you can just play them over and over again and get a really short clip, and then if you get a Thai to just interpret what something is and just start to build these vocabulary of sound bites, not individual words but sound blocks, and learn and lock those sound blocks into into the meanings. Here we go. I've got a message from a Thai. เราเรียนภาษาไทย4 ปีแล้วแต่ it's not from a Thai but somebody's written in Thai. Fantastic. เราเรียนภาษาไทย4 ปีแล้วแต่ยังมีสำเนียงหนักทำอะไรดีสำเนียงหายจะได้หายไป. Okay, so the question was, I've been learning Thai for 4 years already. And even though I can speak Thai now, and obviously can write in Thai, I still have a very strong accent when speaking Thai. It's all in the throat. And I would say if in cracking Thai fundamentals, and actually I'll put this up now, you can see here, we're giving a very special offer during this. It's a half, 50% off our cracking Thai fundamentals package, which will only go for 24 hours, but you'll be able to, if you go into there, I train you how to train your voice and how to start to build new sounds and new sounds so your muscles produce sounds much more like a Thai. It's all in the throat. It's all in the muscles. So I'd say a lot of muscle training there. Let me get another question. How do people maintain their Thai language skills outside of Thailand, particularly regarding to pronunciation if you don't have native speakers around you? I achieved a decent level of Thai after 2 years in the country. Nowhere near fluency, but I could generally make myself understood. But now I'm back in Australia and I can feel my pronunciation slipping rapidly after only 3 weeks, and I'm sounding very strine here. It happens to every time I go home. I would say the best way is build yourself up a bigger circle of Thai friends. Use those online. You can start chatting with people. I don't know if you've got things like, I know in China they use WeChat or Line. Instead of typing messages, why don't you start using the record messages to send and get your Thai friends back in Thailand to send you recorded messages. And the other thing is to get a Thai who knows how to use their ear and just do a sample recording of your voice and say, look, what is it about my voice that makes me sound not Thai to you? And just address it bit by bit. And maybe they've got some suggestions you can implement. You want to slowly improve your accent and hone it into an accent that you're happy with. Let me just get a drink. Next question. I haven't studied any Thai, but I lived here. I know some phrases. How good could my Thai be if I have a 10-hour week for a year to study? I would say that 10 hours a week, 20 hours a week, it's all about how you study and what you study. For me, learning any language is making that language become your life. So that's great if you can set aside 10 hours a week, maybe 2 hours a day, Monday to Friday, or you pick your days. But what happens between the times that you're not in those hours? For me, I breathe the language. And so 10 hours a week could get you a long way, but I would say that, turn your life into using Thai, build your environment up around you. And again, that's what the Preparing to Crack the Thai Fundamentals, that first course within the CTF suite, it teaches you how to build that environment. So you're not just counting hours, but you're actually structuring your whole life to teach you Thai, and the environment will teach you Thai. I can hear all these messages coming through here as well. So Go Speaky is a new language chat site. That's fantastic. So to the question just a moment ago, how can you practice speaking Thai? There is a website somebody's mentioned here. I haven't tried it out myself, but it says Go Speaky, GOSPAKY. It's a new language chat site. So that would be a great one for you. Let me go back to some questions here. Have we got any more questions? Okay. One question that comes in: is it necessary to learn to read Thai? Can I just learn how to speak it? And a lot of people will say to me, can I just learn to speak Thai without learning to read and write? Because the whole concept of writing is daunting. I would say that I have met people that have learned Thai, especially people who were here from a younger age or for many, many years, that speak Thai and speak quite good Thai without being able to read and write a letter of Thai. But there's a caveat. Those people here have normally been in a very Thai situation, a family situation, learning the language. If you do learn Thai, the Thai writing system has built in, you look at a word, it has the tone built into the word. The map of the mouth, you know exactly where it's produced from in the mouth. You know exactly how to differentiate words. So for example, the word kan, ko, ano, kan, this word in Thai, there are actually over 8 to 10 words that are pronounced kan, but all different spelling and all different meanings. So how do you differentiate that if you haven't learned to read and write, if you're not a native speaker? I would say learning to read and write, especially the way I've presented it in Preparing to Crack the Thai Fundamentals, you can learn to read and write in the space of, depending how motivated you are, anywhere from a couple of days to a couple of weeks. That little investment then takes you way in front of the pack and gives you all of these tools then that you can use to then build your fluency much faster. So I would say that in answer to, do I need to learn to read and write Thai to be able to speak it? Not necessarily, but in learning to read and write it, you're giving yourself a huge, huge benefit, and it's not as mysterious or difficult. Here's a question. What's the uniqueness of Jcademy's approach? Well, this actually lets me answer two things at once. First of all, I'd like to announce today that Jcademy isn't just my courses, isn't just Cracking Thai Fundamentals. Jcademy, I am J, Stuart J Raj. Everyone in Thai knows me as J. So this is where Jcademy came from, but I'm passionate about learning and learning everything and anything. And so Jcademy is a platform that we built to support any learning, and we're going to be doing both to the public customer, but also into learning institutes, universities, schools, UN agencies. We want learning to be there for everybody. It's going to be measurable and, more importantly, interactive. So let me just share my screen with you again. And if I come into now just any screen here on Jcademy, this is an example of the vowels, but you can see that the whole thing is interactive. So watch. So here we go, learning the shapes. So you can learn the vowel shapes, and then after you've learned the vowel shapes, you can go through and quiz yourself. You can mark yourself. So rather than just sitting and watching a bunch of videos, you're actually going in and you're quizzing and you're drilling yourself. And the way that I've built these quizzes and drills is that as you go through them, they actually teach you. The one course that I love in the suite is the thinking in meanings, and it's actually teaching you to think in this fuzzy logic. My bandwidth is being chewed up here. By the way, for those people there, for the best experience, you can actually download these into your player so you can have an offline viewing as you're going through these modules. But basically, the thing that makes Jcademy courses special is that we allow for interactive learning. We're building it so we can, you'll be able to get, so here we go, we select a vowel frame. And you can see here, we have the letter here. You can get a female, a male, but we've made this whole thing interactive. The bandwidth is being chewed up by the broadcast here. So once you've loaded that into for offline viewing, you won't get those issues. Let me go home. And that's our vowels module. And so Cracking Thai Fundamentals, thing that I like to think that it's special is that all the stuff that I do as a language learner and a polyglot and somebody who loves languages, I tried to build a course that does what I do naturally and builds that muscle memory for you and teaches you the language the way that I learn languages and drills you and drills you and drills you until you get it. So I would say that in my opinion, that's what makes us different, that it's practical, it's interactive, and it teaches you what you need and builds the language into your body. Okay, the next question. I believe learning colloquial Thai is more important than textbook Thai. As an example, I say pa for fish as opposed to pla. I'd love to know your thoughts. Sa thu. Yes. Actually, let me show you this as well. You might have heard the saying, "Don't let the truth get in the way of a good story." So I'll just share my screen with you again, and have a look at this. I get my trusty consonant compass again, and watch this. I'm going to pull up the Thai paw pla. So here's our paw pla here, and as opposed to the Lao. So there's Thai, and where's my Lao is here. Okay, so Lao paw pla. Have a look at this. Thai paw pla, Lao paw pla. So the Lao, let me just say that the Lao came to making their script and their spelling. They were realists. The reality is the original word from hundreds of years ago, blah, had this consonant cluster, ba, la, blah. Now, as with any consonant clusters, though, in Thai, basically they get lost. And so even though Thais will tell you, yes, it's blah, ba, la, ah, and you can see here, ba, la, blah. The reality is the tongue kind of makes its way up to the roof of the mouth to make this sound, but it doesn't quite make it, so you get ba. So if you're a Falang and the Thai is telling you, they'll say blah, like krap. But the reality is when Thais speak with them amongst themselves, no one will say it. They'll say it the way that Laos, as the realists, realize they say pa pa, and they actually drop the l out of the spelling. It became pa pa. And again, this compass is going to be available for you. You can see by learning the system, bang, you've learned Thai, you can learn Lao as well. They've taken all of these letters that don't have, instead of having a one-to-one Sanskrit, they just kept the basic sounds, and you, as a result, you have a lot less letters. So my answer is, you can sort of please your Thai friends and your teachers by saying the book form, but in reality, if you're speaking Thai naturally with the native like rhythms, with the native like sounds, Thais won't be correcting you, and they'll just feel that it's natural. ก็ถ้าพูดภาษาไทยเราก็พูดปอปลาอยากกินปลาปลาดิบ no one's going to say anything you say ปลาดิบ but if you say ปลาดิบ they say ปลา because you're overemphasizing, and then they'll say no, it's ปลา but วันนี้อยากกินอะไรอยากกินปลาดิบ. Yeah, you won't say it, and Thais won't correct you because you're doing it in the native like jangwa or the rhythm. So know the formal, practice the colloquial in real life. Let me just go through. By the way, for those people who have who are still in there, you can see the Cracking Thai Fundamentals offer there. You can click Let's Go. That's going to be available for only 24 hours. We've taken half the price off just for the people who are on this seminar. You can jump in and put the code in. So the discount code is webinar 210315. Webinar 210315. So if you go and use that coupon code, you'll be able to get 50% off any of the stuff that's in there at the moment, which is a great deal. So going back to the next question, time is often a limited factor for all of us. However, I've just started with the Learn Thai Style School for talking, reading, writing course. I've learned Thai via their books and a bi-weekly Skype session with a native speaker, but I'm wondering whether it should combine this, for example, Glossika and something else. Do you suggest combine several elements, or to stick with one horse at one time? As much as you can get. When I learn a language, and I'm sure when you do too, you know, I have probably altogether about 3,500 to 4,000 books, language books. Many of those are need to get shipped back over here, and I've got probably 1,000 or so here. Now, just like we buy many books, you don't just learn Thai by one method. You don't just learn through Cracking Thai Fundamentals, or you don't just learn through Glossika or any one course. This is, again, what Jcademy is all about. I realized this, and so rather than seeing people as competition, I was just in Taiwan and getting many of these. I'm trying to inspire course authors to say, look, these aren't competition. People are going to be using your course and other courses. Well, why not get together? So as Jcademy, and you'll be seeing this week coming up, Mike's Glossika course and Duke Learning School, they're making the most beautiful online series. I'm going to be bundling them all together. If Learn Thai Style wants to make a online version too, I'll bundle those in, or we can put them there. But I believe the more the merrier, and people won't just stick to one. If the Thai language or any language learning market is so great, it's not going to cannibalize. I think that setting it a right price for everybody, but everybody learning together, everybody wins. So by all means, learn with them, but learn from these other things. And Glossika it's a fantastic system. Just listen to it, have it playing. And I've used Glossika for Hokkien and other languages as I'm learning, and I find that it just sticks in my subconscious. And these answers, when somebody speaks to you, then you've just got this huge toolbox of language that you can use. So definitely jump into Glossika as well, and any other courses, and of course Cracking Thai Fundamentals. I'd like to learn both Thai and Lao. Is it better to learn Thai really well before learning Lao? What's the best way to learn similar languages such as Thai and Lao? simultaneous language acquisition. I love learning multiple languages together. I will learn often similar languages, and the differences between the languages become a memory peg for me. So for example, if I was learning Thai and Lao just now, I would know that pla in Thai, pa in Lao. So pla, pa, that becomes a memory peg. And even if I never knew the word pa before, I've just learned both of them now, and the fact that they're different, the difference in between those two words has then locked it into me. The beautiful thing about Thai and Lao, okay, let me just have to say it carefully here, but politics will delineate languages more than actual linguistic differences. So as you can see, if you go and you look on that, let's come and look on the consonant compass again. Have a look here. Thai, we have the low class, middle class, high class. In Lao, we have the low class, middle class, high class. Oh, funny that it's exactly the same. It's because really we're talking about the same system. Even the tone systems, because when you find these classes, the way the high class is rendered, the tone rules that you learn for Central Thai are just that. It's only the rules for Bangkok Thai. There are 70, 80, 90 different permutations of how each one of these sections, the high class, middle class, low class with Mai Ek, short vowel, long vowel, how they are rendered in each province in Thailand, in each city. And Lao, again, is just another province in this TAI, Thai language group of languages that goes right up into southern China, into Yunnan province. So, you know, it's basically learning different points of a gradient of one language family. For me, learning them both together is very beneficial. And yeah, you can learn a lot of the grammar and the detailed stuff in Thai and then just learn how it converts across into Lao. I would say go for it. Learn them both together. Let's look at another question. Okay, that's a question. Thank you very much. No problem, Jens. Oh, by the way, getting back into that, the whole issue of should I learn Lao and Thai, let me just tell you now, if you, and I wish Thais would learn this in school. Let me pull this Khmer in. So I'll just turn this off. Have a look here. I have been learning Khmer for the past year or so on and off. And I can tell you, grammatical rules and learning Khmer is just basically the missing link for learning Thai. I'll give an example. Look at the word, first of all, you can see the letters. That's Gõ Kai. Does it look similar? It just hasn't got the hat on it. Gõ Kai. Let's look at Ngõ Ngu. See this tail here? Ngõ Ngu. And let's look at Ngõ Ngu in Thai here. So learning Khmer, not only the letters look the same, but words and grammar. So for example, Dern, Dam Nern. So Dern is to walk or to move. Dam Nern is to put something into action, which is a Khmer grammatical pattern. Truat, to check. Tamluat, police. Prung means to add, you have keung prung, like to add flavor or to add something to make better and to enhance. So prung bamrung, you know the hospital, bamrung rat. So rat from the word ratadon, the people, so bamrung rat, making the people better. Or you can picture it, prung, almost adding spices and things to make the people better, which is a great name for a hospital. So I'm just being told we've got 3 minutes left of this webinar. again, once more, go into, we've got some people coming in already using that discount code, webinar 210315. That's your discount code, and you get 50% off the Cracking Thai Fundamentals package for the next 24 hours. And that will set you up and give you everything, the vowels, the consonants, getting your mind, your learning pattern in to learn Thai. And actually, I'll just, to tell you what's the vision after the Cracking Thai Fund. By the way, this book is going to be available very soon as an ebook or ordered through Amazon. But let me read you the Cracking Thai Fundamentals vision. It's now 3 months from the time that I commenced the initial Cracking Thai Fundamentals course. 1, I'm learning to read Thai newspapers, menus, and magazines every day. 2, even though I don't understand all the words, I'm pronouncing the words with about an 85% level of accuracy. 3, I can look up new words that I hear and see in my dictionary that never leaves my side in less than 20 seconds. Physical dictionaries, nothing can beat them because they actually become part of your muscles. 4, I'm learning a minimum of 15 words and 1 idiom per day. 5, I watch Thai television programs or listen to Thai radio for at least 1 hour a day. We talked about that today in the webinar. 6, whenever I hear a new sound or a new word, I can visualize where it's being produced from in the mouth and imitate it. That's what Cracking Thai Fundamentals is all about. It's turning your body into a Thai producing machine. 7, I'm able to type in Thai and regularly visit the Thai websites and use social media in Thai. Learn how to type in Thai. I've got a blog post up and I'll put something up so you can learn it. But learning to type in Thai opens you up to a whole new world of learning. Google, you type something in, bang, you get real life examples of what it is, or Google Images. 8, I'm able to order pizza entirely in Thai in Thailand without the telephone operator trying to change into English. And we saw Paul Garrigan do that, and he did an amazing job a few months back. But that's what Cracking Thai Fundamentals' goal is. And even if it wasn't Cracking Thai Fundamentals, as a Thai learner, I would set that goal for yourself from this day forward. Try and get those things doing. If you focus on those 10 things and set those as your goals, I guarantee every day you go out thinking, how am I going to achieve those? You're going to learn not just one thing, but several new things every day, and your Thai is just going to go up like this. We've hit our time. I'm just going to check the questions for any last quick questions. Okay, any tips for learning dialects? That's going to be in the next I have some fantastic tips for learning dialects and changing, and I'll just show you the book that it comes from before. This book here, once you've learned that system of the high, middle, low, you see these graphs in here. These are graphs of, so this one here is Chiang Mai, this is this is Ayutthaya, Utong. So these are, once you learn that fundamental system, you can just tweak it and turn it into any dialect you want just by changing the tones, consonants, and vowels according to this system. That's it. Thank you very much for attending. I look forward to all your messages. You can message info@jcademy.com. The Phalang Can Learn Thai Language web group on Facebook. It's a fantastic resources, fantastic linguists, people like Ricker and just these amazing language teachers and language specialists that are there to answer questions and we can call on. Come in. Phalang Can Learn Thai Culture is a sister group about Thai culture. So come in, discussions there, and hopefully I'll be able to have a guest speaker on even in the next or the coming webinars. Hopefully we'll be doing this in another week's time. I hope this is a good time for you. We might experiment with different times, but it's been a pleasure being with you, and I look forward to seeing you. And don't forget that offer with Cracking Thai Fundamentals. Put the coupon code in, get it 50% off for the next 24 hours. I'm Stuart J. Raj, and this is Thai Bites Live. Sawadee krap.